Hey there, just waiting for Johnny to get in and for some of you to bring yourselves in. How are you? How are you? Hey, girly action. Basquiat official is in here. Leilani. Hey, Gabby. Sonarixon. I'm Sonar Silent. I hope you're having a good day too. Sak passe. Hey there. Hope you're having a good day. Pickles, the internet sensation. I always laugh at some of these names. So thank you all for joining us today. We are waiting for Johnny to join. Just give us a quick moment here. Let me see if maybe I can find him. All right, he's not on here yet. Just trying to find him. Okay, I don't see him yet. Thank you, Christina. Christina's my cousin who's on here. She's a beautiful artist in her own right, Mind of Melosa. Let's see. All right, I'm waiting for Johnny to join. Kara Yin Art, thank you for visiting the exhibition. We really appreciate that. Okay, please don't request to join unless your name is Johnny Nuñez. Let's see, maybe I can do it this way. You know, this part always takes such a long time, and I always feel like stressed out about getting people to hold while we get the right people on. This live is going to be a conversation with Johnny Nuñez, a prolific photographer who is going to talk with us about some of his work. He's done quite a bit of photography around folks in the music industry and takes amazing photos, and I'm just waiting for him to join. I don't see him yet. Okay, I will wait for him. In the meantime, I'll tell you a little bit about Johnny. Let's see. So he's a Afro-Latino. Here he is, Johnny. Okay, I was getting ready to go into I don't know what conversation. Let's see if I can. There you go. Okay, Johnny should be. He is arriving. Young men Amare. There he is.
All right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. How you been?
I've been really, really good. Thank you. Really good winding the year down, or at least trying to. How have you been?
Good, good. I'm still in a state of shock from having the opportunity to work with you all. And it's just an honor and a pleasure. And I'm just, still got goosebumps,
Wow. Yeah, that was a pretty amazing evening for sure. So before we get into it, this is going to be a relatively kind of short conversation. We just wanted to chat a bit and talk to the people, and also really to talk a bit about what you're up to. Would you give people some insight into who you are? I mean, you are an amazing photographer, and what's been so amazing about your career is that you've had this opportunity to photograph and kind of allow us to see your view of musicians and politicians and all kinds of celebrities and folks known and not known through the lens of your camera. and you have a pretty extensive list of those folks that you've photographed. And we were also at the Hip Hop 50 panel discussion a couple of months ago. And so Johnny Nuñez, who also is from Brooklyn.
Yep.
Yeah. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself? I'm sure they know, but
Yeah.
let people know a little bit about you, and let's start there.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Greenpoint. I was born in Brooklyn Hospital and
Me
Queens,
too.
I think, King County. And then from there, I was adopted at the age of 2 to a Puerto Rican family in Brooklyn, Greenpoint, and I was raised there till about 13. Unfortunately, at the age of 10, my mom had passed away, but thank God my dad still kept me. So we moved to Brentwood, Long Island, and it was there that I wound up meeting EPMD, Craig Mack, Biz Markie. I mean, I loved hip hop since Sugar Hill Gang, first record I ever bought. But I was worried when we moved from Brooklyn to Long Island if hip hop was still going to be there because of Long Island being so rural in the
Yeah.
suburbs. But it was alive and kicking thanks to Rakim and Busta Rhymes and
Yeah.
Keith Murray and a bunch of other artists. Some don't want to claim Long Island, but they were from Long Island. So I grew a love for that. And then not too long after that, after Suffolk Community College, I went to another college program in Nassau Community. And I went to Nassau Community College and I entered the radiation therapy oncology program. I thought I was going to do x-rays. That's what I wanted to do. But I wound up enrolling and getting accepted into radiation therapy oncology. So I treated people with cancer for like 2.5 to 3 years. And 3 months before graduating, unfortunately, I witnessed something. I made a complaint. And before you know it, they kicked me out, bro. They kicked me out. And I sadly learned a very valuable lesson. And I didn't want to tell my dad I got kicked out. So I put all my stuff in storage and I went and lived in my car homeless. So this was in 1997. And I felt like I don't even know what's going to happen with my life anymore after what just happened. So I was close to the edge of insanity, I would say. And I asked God for one idea because some of my friends were street pharmaceutical dealers. And I told
Street
them, give me some
pharmaceutical dealers.
yeah. So I was about to get into that business. And I said, give me 1 minute. My mom always told me to pray. And so I asked God for one idea. The next day, I'm giving you the quick version of it. I saw the next day a camera. Because I told God, if you don't give me an idea tomorrow, I'm going to go sell drugs and become a gangster. So when I woke up in the morning, I saw a camera. All I could say is that within a few months, I was shooting ads for a paper magazine. Within a year or so, I was now shooting for Jay-Z, Damon Dash. Um, I was shooting for Russell Simmons, Kamora Lee, Sean Combs. I was traveling the world shooting for Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Rihanna, Kendrick Lamar. Now, you guys, the estate, um, and meeting great people like Nas, meeting great people like Common, Fat Joe, who's my brother. I lived an amazing life that some people would never believe. But your brother's art inspired me a lot. And I felt a lot of times when I would meet people that actually knew him, like Ricky Powell, he would say to me, "John, you remind me of Basquiat a little bit, man. You guys would have been really cool." And I was like, really? Wow, man. To me, that was an honor. But I just love people and I love capturing moments. I know you have other questions, but I talk a lot, so I'll stop
No,
right
I
there.
like this conversation. I
Yeah.
was just going to say my name is Lisane Basquiat. My sister Janine and I manage the estate of Jean-Michel Basquiat, our brother, and we. I'm sure most of you know we have an exhibition called Basquiat King Pleasure that was in New York, and it's now in Los Angeles, closing on the 1st of January. And one of the
Anyway.
things, yeah, in LA. And one of the things that we wanted to do as part of this project was a couple of things. One was to build community around art. And, Jean-Michel was such a complex artist and creative, and that he was involved in film and music and, and visual art. And really gave so many of us such inspiration for our own artistic and creative endeavors. And for us, we really wanted to talk to people who, not just people who are in the direct visual art field, but also folks who are just simply seeking some inspiration or some community around this world that creatives have. That's a lot of times so very different from what parents expected or anything else. And so I think that that's part of why your story, Johnny, is such an important one, because
Thank you.
you wanted to do something that would have given you a little bit of camera, being an X-ray technician, you would have had the opportunity to kind of, take pictures different from
Yeah,
what, you did, the insides,
yeah.
right? And,
Hmm.
an event that happened that was probably in the moment a heartbreaking and challenging event turned
Hmm.
the course of your career on its head into doing something completely different and equally impactful. And so we thought it was really important to have a conversation with you about your life, about your experience, and also, of course, about how Jean-Michel has, what your experience has been with the exhibition specifically, and then also what your experience has been about Jean-Michel, and any takeaways that you have that you could share with us.
Yeah, well, I would say, when I seen some of the photos of his lifestyle, um, hanging out with Andy, Keith Haring, and all those other great artists, and I saw those black and white photos and some more color and him DJing, long ago, when I saw that, I said to myself, not to manifest something, but I almost felt I saw myself in that. So when you look at my photography style, I love capturing the moment, the energy. I always often say in conversation that a photograph is like an emotion suspended in time.
Mhm.
And your brother's work was something that allowed me to escape out of whatever conditions I was feeling at the moment, whatever I was going through. It would allow me to, see myself in a moment of happiness, a moment of change. And when I got the call that there was an opportunity right after I saw your amazing show in New York City, by the way, that was amazing. That was epic. That party, the pieces were so large. I think there was over 200 never before seen pieces. You know, you didn't want to leave. When it was over, you wanted to stay. And so Ari Mulver said to me, Donnie, you have to speak to the sisters and Eileen. And I think you guys have some, I don't know what it is, but you guys have something. I think there's something there. And
Mhm.
I never heard back, but as time progressed and we began to know more of each other, and I got the call that there was an opportunity to collaborate with you and to curate something that went with the Basquiat King of Pleasure exhibit at the Zipper Hall Theater, I think, or the Zipper Hall Arena. I was like, God, you got jokes. This is like a dream come true. This is like, I remember calling my wife saying, I cannot believe it. And so Eileen will tell you, I was supposed to like be done in 2 days. I wound up, Eileen's like, are you done yet? And I'm like, no, because I wanted to make sure that there was a good photo of Nas and
Mhm.
AZ. I wanted to make sure there was a good picture of Jay-Z or the Wu-Tang, because I felt like these are the images that would depict that time, the era that I was in, and borrowing from his era of the 80s and so on, 81, 82, 83. When I look at those photos that I see of him having a good time, I'm like, what would he have liked to be? Who would he like to talk to? And would Basquiat like to chill out with Method Man? And I just thought to myself, I could see him in these photos, even though he was there in spirit. So
Yeah.
it took a little bit longer time, but here we were with this amazing exhibits, collaboration of his artwork and my photos, gelled because of you, your sister, and Eileen and Ari. And I want to thank you all.
Yeah, of course. Let's take a step back really quick just to fill in some of the blanks for folks.
Sorry.
So the event that Johnny's referring to is Jean-Michel, as some of you know, was very, loved music. It was such a part of his life. It just kind of, flowed through his veins. And so much so that Jean-Michel produced and created a label called Tartown Records, and
Mm-hmm.
with that Ramos Z and K Rob rapped on, and he pulled the arrangement together, and it was what is now referred to as, which is beat bop, and what has been referred to as one of the top 100 hip hop songs of all time. And so, because of that piece of his history, it was really important to us that we create some kind of an event to celebrate, along with the music industry, the hip hop 50th. So we did a panel discussion that Ari Melber moderated, and we had Rhapsody and Yo-Yo and Dougie Fresh on the stage. Johnny was there taking photographs of the event. The event actually took place at Zipper Hall, that's over at the Colburn School, but the exhibition is taking place at the LA Grand, right across the street. And so that's actually where the exhibition is today. Eileen Gallagher is the producer. Johnny and I are the executive producers and curated the exhibition, and with incredible support by Eileen Gallagher, who's the producer of the exhibition, both New York and Los Angeles. And so I did not realize that that you and Ari had that conversation some time ago at all. I'm really happy that you did. And one of the things that we asked you to do, or that Eileen asked you to do, Johnny, was to pull together this kind of like montage of photographs that were displayed in the background of the panel discussion during the conversation. Haley, and so those are the photographs that you're referring to. If you all want to see those photographs, by the way, we have a YouTube channel on Basquiat King Pleasure. So feel free to go there. You'll get to see the entire panel discussion. It was an incredible conversation.
Yeah.
Right there. And you'll also get to see the photographs that Johnny selected that were to be displayed in the background as a backdrop to that conversation. That really gave you the history of hip hop. I mean, I don't know that there's anyone that you didn't have displayed up there that you haven't taken photos of.
Oh yeah, I had to make sure I had, from Cool Herc to Jay-Z,
Yeah.
memorable photos and memorable moments in hip hop, or
Yeah.
in this case, bebop.
Is there anyone that you want to photograph that you haven't? Like who would you love, living or not? Like who would you
Well,
love to
of course,
photograph?
Mike Jean, of course, you know what I'm saying?
Other than Jean-Michel.
Yeah,
Other than
yeah,
Jean-Michel.
Jean-Michel, uh, gee, that's a good question. Oh, man, that's a hard one. I would like, I wish I could, well, man, there's so many. I would like to say, who have I not shot? I guess I would have liked to have shot Red Fox, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
I think he was cool. Richard Pryor. Um, I would have liked to shoot, man, boy, you got me with a good question, because
Okay.
there's a lot of people I haven't had a chance to shoot. And then there's, um, I guess I would say, man, this is so many. Gilda Radner from Saturday Night Live. She was actually
Wow.
funny.
Wow.
Um,
Someone suggested John Coltrane.
Man, let me tell you, John Coltrane, I would have loved to. Louis Armstrong, I would have loved to
Mm.
shoot him as well. I would have loved to shoot probably probably Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. Definitely, I would have loved to have
Oh,
shot
wow.
him.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah. Someone
there's so
asked,
many.
yeah, there are a lot, right? Someone asked which YouTube channel. It's the Basquiat King Pleasure YouTube channel, and just look for hip hop within there, you'll see a list of long form panel discussions. Actually, all the panel discussions that we've had are loaded there, and you can look for this one specifically where you'll have the opportunity to see all of the. There have to be hundreds of photographs that Johnny gave to be displayed in the background as a backdrop to that panel discussion. Couple of quick questions. If you all have a question, by the way, we have like 2 minutes for questions. So if you have a question that's pretty short and succinct, stick it in there and we'll see if we can get that answered before we hang up in about 5 minutes. But I did have a question that someone asked me to ask you, Johnny. What is your advice? And this is kind of in line with what we started off with, which is a lot of this is, including the exhibition, is really about supporting other creatives. Jean-Michel was very supportive of other artists from all different walks of life. What kind of advice do you have for young photographers who are looking to build a legacy similar to the one that you've built so far? I mean, you went from like X-ray technician, or the desire to become an X-ray technician to not too long after starting this incredible career, including like, I think I heard that you photographed for Vibe magazine for Quincy Jones, and you've done some amazing things. What kind of advice do you have for young folks who are needing some direction, or not young, but new creatives of any age,
I always tell people, for one, look for the unknown. When I go to showcases, I shoot. I think I'm safe to say I'm the first Afro-Latino that is now officially a Grammy photographer for the Grammys, for the Recording Academy of Music. And now I'm also shooting for MTV. And, breaking glass ceilings so that there's more diversity, something that I try to do. And in doing that, I always tell young photographers and videographers, creatives alike, start with your community. I love hip hop, so I knew you eat what you kill, and you go for what you like. I go to all these downtown low key spaces, hole in the wall nightclubs. Sometimes they're amateur nights, and you will find these amazing artists. One place that I go to is legendary SOBs. So whoever's listening, wherever you are in America or the world abroad, there's usually this one place that gives opportunity to new artists. So I choose SOBs. And one of the things of me shooting new talent is most photographers look for the headline. Who's going to be the biggest artist? Some of them don't shoot the first act or the second act. They want to reserve the battery, or back in the days like me, save the film. But I love to shoot those unknowns. I love when I hear people getting booed. I love when I see people discouraged and get off stage like sad. That's when I go backstage or downstairs and knock on the door. And of course, they're like, "What's going on?" And I speak to the artist. Sometimes they're crying. I'm like, "Listen, you did a great job out there." And those boos are going to be yay soon, And I inspire them and encourage them, because you know what? I feel like it's easy to turn someone down. It's easy to hurt someone's feelings. This is society that we live in. But when you could tell someone who doesn't feel like they did a good enough job, "Yo, I came here for you." "Wait a minute, you're not here to see so and so?" "No, I heard that you were opening up." Well, next thing you know, that's Pharrell Williams. Next thing you know, that's Jay-Z. Next thing you know, that's Nas. Next thing you know, that's DMX. Next thing you know, that's The Lox, Styles P, Jadakiss, Chic Luch. The list of celebrities that I shot when they were doing showcases, till now they're billionaires, opening companies in Silicon Valley. So to everyone listening, don't look for the knowns all the time. Look for the unknowns. It doesn't hurt to show a little love. I remember when I met Kendrick Lamar in New York City at a bowling alley with Mike Kaiser, and I didn't know Kendrick Lamar from a whole, but I said, "You know what? Since it's our first time meeting, spit for me, rap for me." He said, "Rap for you right now?" I'm like, "Yeah." Got Kendrick Lamar to do a freestyle for me. And, you know, would he do it now? Hell no. But
You
maybe he
got it.
remembers, maybe he doesn't. But my
Yeah.
point is that when you meet new talent, to all the creators, when you meet, if you're a painter and don't paint when everybody's painting, paint something that no one has ever painted. Maybe paint a portrait of someone that doesn't even think that they're worthy. You know, capture opportunities by going in different directions. Me, I give the love to the new artists that is nervous, that is scared, as much as I would give someone that just got 5 Grammys. I remember being a fan of Doja Cat before no one even knew who Doja Cat was. And I saw her backstage at a show and I said, Doja Cat, I'm a big fan. And she's like, can I get a hug? I gave her a hug. I'm like, yo, let me tell you, you're going to be big, Doja Cat. And she was like, I received that. I thank you so much. I remember Lizzo performed at Fader Fort in South by Southwest. And when he performed, when Lizzo performed, um, of course, it's Lizzo, uh, with no one knowing who she was, and she killed it. She had backup dancers. They were doing splits. They were doing all kind of, you know, contorting their body, and she loved herself. And when it was over, I ran backstage. I said, "Hey, man, Lizzo, I know you just did it big up there. I could just tell you, you're gonna be big." She's like, "Thank you so much. Can I get a hug?" Gave her a hug. I saw her a few months later. That's Lizzo. So to the people listening, my advice to you is befriend artists, regardless of how famous they are at the time. Love them, nurture them, support them, because when they make it to the top, they will remember you. Um, there was a girl who used to work for me, and she said, Johnny, I'm going to the Lower East Side, Avenue A, to shoot a showcase of this artist. Can I borrow one of your cameras? I said, here's the camera. And you want to come, Johnny? I said, what's her name? I can't go. I got to do something else. Later on that night, she came back to me. I said, how did the show go? Johnny, she was booed and they threw her off stage. Security actually escorted her and her dancers. I was like, I'm really sorry to hear that. No, I don't care. She's awesome. 2 years later, I'm at the Apollo, and Akon says to me, Johnny, I want to introduce you to 2 artists that I just signed, and I want you to meet them personally. French Montana, come over here. This is Johnny Nuñez. Lady Gaga, come over here. This is Johnny Nuñez. If you see this man, you let him shoot you, because if he shoots you, you're going to be big. I'm like, Lady Gaga, a friend of mine told me all about you. I missed the show, but I'm so happy to see you here. A month later, I'm at Beats by Dr. Dre in California with Dr. Dre, and I saw her and she remembered me.
Wow.
So, you know,
Wow.
never doubt how God will turn your life around. If you ever needed to see what faith in God or what a blessing looks like, you could call me anytime, and I'll be here to answer and pray with you, because I'm a
Yeah.
living, walking proof that God is real. Sorry.
Yeah. Do not apologize for that. What I love about this is, and then we're gonna have to close in a moment. What I love
Sure.
about this is that a lot of times people are looking for the big thing, like they're looking to jump up to the big thing. And one of the most consistent pieces of advice that Janine and I are hearing from people during these panel discussions and these IG lives is the big thing is wonderful. It's the little things, it's the small things, it's the small moments that you have to actually be a human. It's taking the steps, taking the small steps that eventually can get you to the place that you're wanting to go. But it really is about the small steps. Like, don't disregard those. Don't, when you see folks who are successful or who are totally in their craft, they're there because they've taken those smaller steps. They've been willing to do the hard work and to be consistent about what they're doing, knowing that eventually you get the result that you're working toward. But work is the operative word. Like, you got to work for it. You got to work for it to get there, and you got to remember your humanity along the way. And I think that that's one of the reasons that we were so excited to have a conversation with you, Johnny, is because,
Thank you.
again, like, you have been in the presence of you know, people that we all look at every day, like, oh my goodness, you know, the Kendrick Lamars, the Jay-Z's, the, you know, the Dougie Freshes, the Yo-Yos, all these folks, the Ari Melbers, and yet you are just like all of us, right? You're on the ground working, you're in the thing, say, you know, being a place of support and inspiration and encouragement for people
Thank
who need it. And I think if more of us, especially, life is kind of crazy, right? And so the more of us that are willing to do that, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. It doesn't cost anything to be supportive. So I'm really glad
you.
that you're committed to doing that. Um,
Thank you.
just to, really quick, King Pleasure, y'all, closes on January 1st, 2024. We've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. It closes. It's not going to, we're not going to pop up in a couple of months with another, you know, location. King Pleasure, Jean-Michel Basquiat King Pleasure closes on January 1st, 2024. If you have not gotten yourself there, this is the time to see it, because you will never have the opportunity to see this again. And just a couple of quick things that I'm going to ask you to give us the last word, Johnny. Okay?
Yeah.
So you have a chance to think about it. Okay? Really quick, Johnny and I were doing a book signing at the King Pleasure Emporium on Wednesday, December 13th. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. There'll be music by DJ Mona Lisa. You'll get 30% off selected items. And there you can RSVP at kingpleasurela.com if you have an interest in coming to that event. These book signings are always a lot of fun.
I think I'm gonna try to come down.
Come down,
I
that'd be
think I'm gonna try to
fun.
come down. I know
Come
the
down for
14th
sure.
something's coming on, right? The 14th?
The
Something's
fourth,
happening on the 14th?
yeah, but that's,
Okay, we'll
no,
talk about it later.
yeah. And then you can now gift tickets to King Pleasure. The packages are available in single, pair, and family options. There's also a VIP entry that's involved in that. You get a catalog and a free gift from the Emporium, which is our store. You can book now for that at King Pleasure LA. And then the full version of this will be loaded right after this. So if you want to really get some inspirational words from an amazing artist, please do listen to this and share it with friends. And then Johnny, I am going to give you the last word. What do you have to say to folks?
Well, number one, thank you, your sister, you know, Eileen, everyone else. Thank you all for this amazing opportunity. It's not only an honor, but I mean, I might be safe to say it's the first time I've had a chance as a photographer or my artwork to be with you all in a collaboration of sort. And I could not thank you enough. You know, it means a lot to me. I just want to say whatever I could do for you and your family, whatever you ever need me, my lens is yours.
Thank
And
you.
if there's anything charitable to help people that are in need, please don't hesitate to call me. I would love to be part of whatever you're doing.
Thank you for sure. Someone just said they're going to buy a camera soon, so that if there is any,
Buy
you
a
know,
camera.
people are listening. Last thing, I guess I didn't say where the exhibition is. It is at the Grand LA in downtown. It's right across the street from the Disney Concert Hall and catty corner to the Broad Museum. Come down if you want the opportunity to see some amazing artwork by Jean-Michel Basquiat and his story told by his sister and family, his sisters and family. All right, so Johnny, thank you so much, and thank all of you for joining.
Thank you all.
All
Thank
right,
you. I really appreciate it. Have a
thank
blessed evening,
you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.